Hi, Victory Nation. Welcome to Inside MyVictory, a podcast about the church, leadership, and creativity. I'm Pastor Gene.
And I'm Pastor Kelly. And you can follow along with the podcast and the notes we provided for you for that podcast at my website, kellystickle.com.
And when you have questions, and you will have questions today, please send those questions to us because we would love to discuss them. We would love to answer them. And you can do that by simply going to leadership@myvictory.ca.
Yeah, please take advantage of this. If you're a pastor or church leader and you have a question that would help in your specific situation, send us that question. We would love to take it on. Again, you can email us at leadership@myvictory.ca.
This has been a really exciting series.
It has.
It's really
been
fun to
fun, yeah.
dig into this and pick at it. And I love pushing against the status quo.
Yeah, well,
And I know you do too.
yes, I do, yes.
So today we're going to wrap up this series. And so I'm going to review the 8 of the 9 or 10 things that we have covered so far. And if you have a comment, just kind of throw something in there.
Okay, I bet
you can do that. So we've discussed the church that you see in the future is more community and less event.
Yeah, that's more about relationship, less about a 1-hour service throughout the week. We put all of our resources, time, energy into that 1 hour a week, and I think the church needs to become more focused on the other 167 hours.
And then we discussed more social media and less broadcast media.
Yes, we even use social media to broadcast, and that's less advertising, less statements, more interaction, more communication, and conversations with people, creating those conversations.
So important. More omni-channel and less centric.
Yeah, and that means they're using every available means, and we can reach people. And a stat that's out there is 80% of people in America that attended church last week or said they attended church last week didn't show up at a physical location.
It's
80%,
crazy.
which is crazy.
It's radical.
So instead of focusing all of our energies on a centric location, we need to reach them online. We need to reach them at that physical location. We need to reach them on Facebook. We need to reach them in YouTube, whatever channel.
Whatever it's new that's going to come, do the same.
Yeah, omni-channel, less centric.
More charismatic and less attractional.
Yeah, and that's focusing more on the experiencing of God. People come to a church to experience God. They want to experience God, the presence of God. They want hope in their situation, and they want more of that, less cool, less spectacular, because that's not a big thing anymore.
No.
There's so many churches doing it. I'm not saying take away the excellence. Not saying take away the attraction. I'm just saying, hey, let's put more charismatic in there, more experience.
It's good.
Less attractional.
More how and less wow.
Yeah. This is how we communicate. I think a lot of times as communicators and preachers, we want to tickle people's ears. We want to make them excited. We want to give them the wow. We want them to walk away stunned at our brilliance. I think we need to get more practical, more how. This is really more teacher,
Yes.
less preacher,
Yes.
more explanation, less motivation.
Good. More why and less what.
Yeah, again, part of communication is let's focus on the why, and we can't just tell people what to do anymore.
Mm-hmm.
We need to tell them why they need to do that, and I think that's a very important thing, especially for the younger generation. They've got lots of information coming at them.
Right.
They got lots of. They're not going to listen to be told what to do unless they understand the why behind it. So,
Right. More real, less right.
being authentic. And focusing on being authentic and the less pretenses and the less pretending that goes on. Not saying we're discarding being right. That's why I love these statements. It's more of this and less of that. We need to be more authentic in every regard and less focused on looking right, saying right, and just, hey, let's just be real.
Let's be real. More curate and less inform.
Yeah, there's so much information out there, and people are listening to podcasts and they're watching sermons online, and they're getting information they can get at the tip of their fingers with all the devices that we have. So information is not a problem. If we just inform, we become white noise. Basically, there's just one more noise in the clutter of information that's out there. So I think it's better if the church becomes more fatherly, more curating information, saying, hey, here's what to listen to, here's what to watch, here's what to avoid.
That's good. And last week we covered more revolution and less evolution.
Yeah, it's time to be first and to lead the way. Revolutionary breakthrough, setting society kind of following the model of what the book of Acts did, who changed the culture. And evolution is we just evolve with what's going on around us. We evolve with where the church is going. We evolve with where society is going. And I think we need to get more pioneering and more in the front.
So today we're looking at the last set of these words, more help, less tell.
Yeah.
This is good.
Yeah, and it's very important. Again, we cannot just tell people the message and tell people what to do and tell people where to find the answers. We need to help them along the way. And again, modeling after the life of Jesus, Jesus was more help than he was tell. He did tell, but he helped first. And whereas the Pharisees would stand on the street corner, see the poor all around there, the parable of the Good Samaritan, they'd walk by those who needed the help to get to the synagogue to tell them where to find the help. Instead of doing that, we needed to help people along the way and reach down, be that Good Samaritan, do what Jesus did. Jesus went to the lepers where the Pharisees said you can't even come to the synagogue until you're cleaned, and Jesus went to them. Jesus helped where others just wanted to tell.
And he always had someone with him. We talk about more help. Jesus also always had the disciples with him and other followers with him, and he helped them understand how to help people. And so there was a lot more fathering, hands-on, in that time frame.
Absolutely. I mean, he would do a service, and he was considerate of their needs, and the service would go long. He would provide food. There would be means. He supplied means where he provided wealth for Peter and John before he ever called them to come and join him. Right? He provided a lot of things, a lot of help, a lot of healings before he would ever preach. And he helped before he told. And I think the church needs to get that way. And that's why I'm so passionate about what we do at MyVictory with My City Care. Is we can sit in our building and expect the community to come to us and tell them about the hope that is Jesus, and if they don't come, then we give them all the excuses, all the reasons why they don't do that. Or we could become the church. We could be the church and be the church in the community and reach out to where the needs are and find where those needs are. And we founded My City Care based on Jesus's sermon, Matthew 25, where he talks and he says, when I was hungry, you fed me. When I was thirsty, you gave me something to drink. And in that list, he gave 6 needs of food and water and shelter and justice, and he clothing. He had all those needs. And so we took those 6 areas and said, okay, there's those 6 needs are still predominant in our communities today. What if we as a church went out there and found those needs and met them? What would happen? And we've seen that as we reach out and help people, every single week we're seeing people come to Jesus after we've helped them. And I think the church needs to
really rubbing shoulders with each other and really being this last set of words here, more help, less tell, really wraps up everything we previously said, because without this, it has no meaning at all.
Yeah, it's true. Right, and this really follows. I think John Maxwell was the one who said, a leader, people don't care what you know; they care that you care, and they want to know that how much you care. So that is exactly what the people are looking at the church, right? They're not looking for the information, what we know, and that we've got it all together.
The application, the practical.
They want to know that we care, and that we're going to follow the example of Jesus, and we're going to be the church and be the hope, not just talk about the hope.
And teach people to be the hope, not just the hierarchy.
Yeah, exactly.
So good. Well, this completes the series.
Yeah, wasn't that fun?
It's good. And so I know that you are going in a new direction.
Yes.
And so it's really about teaching and mobilizing and reaching being a soul-winning church.
Yeah, we have a big announcement to make. We are next week is actually going to be our last podcast for Inside My Victory. We're still going to make it available for everyone everywhere, but we are rebranding and restarting in the fall. We're going to be starting with a brand new podcast, and we're going to be rebranding, my website. We're going to be rebranding this podcast, and we're going to be providing a lot of other opportunities, which we're really excited to be unveiling coming up. But we really want to focus on helping churches to become soul-winning churches. And my heart in this is I don't really care what size of church you're from, whether your church is small, medium, large, super large, mega church. It doesn't matter. What I think matters is that we stay on mission, and that we win souls, and that we begin to reach people in our communities. And small churches can do that very effectively. Medium churches can, large churches can. And it's disconcerting to me. I read a stat that I thought, man, this is a problem I feel called to solve. I read a stat a couple months ago that said the average for the church in North America, the average church sees 10 salvations a year in North America. That's the average, 10 salvations a year. And that is disturbingly low. That's less than one a month. And to me, that shows that we are off mission as the global church. And I feel like, okay, let's help this. We've seen a lot of success here and a lot of fruit here at MyVictory, and with churches that we've helped already. We've seen a lot of fruit taking simple little methods that we do and techniques that we do, not changing theologies at all, but just saying, hey, let's tweak this and let's work on this. And we see a lot of fruit in that, a lot of salvation. So we're gonna turn that into a podcast and information, and I really want to connect with pastors that are soul winning, and we're going to do interviews, and we're going to be learning as much as we can, focused on helping churches become soul winning churches.
Excellent. And next week we do one more podcast. This brand. Yeah. And this is going to be the top 5 podcasts in the history of Inside My Victory.
Oh, isn't that going to be funny?
Yeah, I think it's going to be fun. But I think going back to what you have just said, that because we are the hope of the world, the church is the hope of the world. It's not the hope of the church, it's the hope of the world.
Hope of the
then
world.
we have to really get to the world because we're on a mission.
We have a mission, and we have to reach every available person.
At every available time.
By every available means.
With the gospel of Jesus Christ.
By creating churches.
Unchurched people love to attend.